All right, everyone. So, according to Mike Garofalo, Tua might be heading to the Falcons. Now, this is a team that is interested in getting him. Obviously, Michael Penix is still recovering from his injury. It doesn't look like Kirk Cousins will be making a return. I'm pretty sure from what I've read that the Dolphins are going to be paying most of what Tua's contract is. So the truth is, this is kind of like what we saw with Russell Wilson, where you're getting him for a bargain. I think a lot of teams should be interested in Tua, and I'm not saying this because I think he's better than what he showed in the Dolphins. I just think when you look at the success he has had in, at certain points, if you could put him in those situations, he could be good enough. And when you're looking at a team like the Falcons, where last season, you do have the Bijan Robinsons of the world, you have Drake London, you have some offensive talent, you have a defense that's stacked. You just brought in Kevin Stefanski, who should get that defense playing well. Having Tua on this cheap of a deal, right? What is the risk reward on that? The risk is very little. The reward could potentially be you actually winning that division. That's a weaker division. The Panthers, the Bucks, they were good last year, but they weren't great. They weren't great. The Saints, they were showed a little bit of life, right? They were kind of one of those frisky teams last year, but who knows what that team's going to be? The Falcons, they have their chances this year. And I think if you know your QB position is as weak as it is because you have injuries, because people are leaving, all of that, and it was already weak to begin with last year, why not give Tua a shot? Why not decide, look, we're going to throw him in there? As long as you could protect Tua, I think he could still throw the football. If you could give him protection, I think he could still throw that football. It's just about if you're able to do that. And either way, it's just why wouldn't you give it a shot? If you're giving them basically $1 million, I think that's what it is, like a little over $1 million. He's worth way more than that. There's a reason he got the contract in the first place. Now, a lot of people didn't think he should have got that big of a deal, but they still would have were in favor of re-signing him, even if he shouldn't have got the massive contract he got, and it was way more than the million he got. So I have no problem with it. I think it's good. I think it will be a big win for the Falcons. And look, the Falcons have to understand this might be their one year. Mike Evans might be leaving the Bucks. Things are moving in their direction. The Panthers, as good as they were last year, you still question whether or not they're going to be able to redo what they did. But they very well could. I'm not saying they can't. They very well could. But can they redo that? That means you have a chance next year. You had a chance this year, you blew. You completely blew it this year. You could have been in the playoffs. You blew it. Lost some games they shouldn't have lost. But you get another chance this year because I don't see any big moves yet on the NFC South side. So, hey, if you get in there, go for it.